Hello everyone, welcome back to another session by K21 Academy. Today our expert trainer will be discussing about high availability and scalable applications in Kubernetes. So let's get into the video.
High availability is the process of running multiple instances of applications on different nodes. So application is always available. In Kubernetes, this is achieved by creating multiple replica pods. These replica pods are achieved by deployment, a type of control manager running on the master node. What is a deployment or control manager in Kubernetes? And the 22 hands-on labs that you must perform in order to clear Kubernetes certification. We're going to cover all this in today's episode. Welcome to part 4 of 5-part video series on Docker and Kubernetes with me, Atul Kumar from team K21 Academy, where we help in your journey to cloud and managing cloud native applications, including Docker and Kubernetes. So in the previous part, that's part 3 of this 5-part video series, our Kubernetes and Docker expert Mamta covered architecture and components of Kubernetes, where she looked at the Kubernetes master node and worker node and the various processes that are part of master and worker node, things like API-server, etcd, or kubelet, cAdvisor, or kubeproxy, and the most important, pods. If you missed that session, then check it out at k21academy.com/Kubernetes 12. It's Kubernetes 1.2. Now, in this episode, we'll continue from the previous session where she will talk about highly available containers running multiple replicas of pods across different hosts. So she will extend the previous video and explain you the role of deployment, which is running on a master node, which is type of a control manager. After that, she will tell you about the 22 hands-on lab that you must perform in order to learn Kubernetes and become a certified Kubernetes administrator. So let's see what she has to say.
Just to get a brief understanding, you have a lot of applications running, and one application you can never get it down, right? I have a server running. I don't want that to go down. So how do I run in a virtual machine? I run them as highly available with a scale set and all, highly scalable, right? Same way, when I'm running containers, I would run multiple replicas of containers, how I was running multiple replicas of my virtual machine. Difference: virtual machines were scaling in minutes, replicas of containers will scale in milliseconds. So let's see, how does the replica scaling and all happen? We saw scheduler's role, we understood etcd's role, we understood kubelet's role, we understood Docker's role. There was a control manager which was hanging there, and we didn't focus that much on that. And now that's time to focus on that. Deployment is a type of controller which gets created, which helps us manage the replicas. If I say run 3 replicas, it will run 3 replicas. If I say scale to 10, it will scale to 10. If I say scale down to 3, it will scale down to 3. So deployment gets created. It in turn goes and creates those replica pods. And again, I am wrapping it up with a service so that it has a static IP address, other containers and all can reach it. And in case someone wants to access from outside, how I showed that on the ETH0 of the host, the container can expose a port. Same way here on the node ports, you are exposing the container, and there is a mesh network inside. Even though your container is running in worker node 1, if you reach on the port number on the worker node 2, which you have exposed, your packet gets routed over there. So here the routing is much more complex, but it is much more quicker as well. You will not feel the delay, and packet would get routed to the correct destination wherever your container runs. And one point in time, if you want to really scale up, you can scale as well, and you can do the load balancing across. How we have a load balancer in front of a virtual machine, same way you can have a load balancer across containers as well. So here load balancing can happen if you are deleting a pod, that pod deletion, manually you're deleting, or you are accidentally it got deleted or restarted, it will come back. Deployment will make sure that it brings back that, because deployment's work is to auto heal. We were talking about Kubernetes doing auto healing, auto scaling, right? We saw it scale the second replica, it heals the replica here, it brings back the pod. And if you see, the pod came with a new IP address .5 at this point in time. And when it came with a new IP address, still then the reachability to that particular has not changed because every time my service IP address was constant and I sent packet according to the service IP address, and in the backend service work is to keep monitoring whether the pod went up or went down. It maintains the IP address in the endpoint list. Okay, so here, this is the way we can set up a complete highly scalable application, and we can do a lot of load balancing and all in comes into picture. So let's see what sort of hands-on would be needed. You will have to learn how to bring up the complete cluster from scratch. You will have to understand how the cluster comes up in cloud. That would become much more easier for working once you know things from scratch, right? How to run a highly available application. The example which I saw showed you the deployment type. In case we are rolling out the new features, version 1 to version 2, we are going, how do we do that? How we roll back, blue, green deployment, a lot of things are there in that, right? How do I scale? How do I scale down? In case I'm exposing, how do I expose only within the cluster? How do I expose outside the cluster? How do I expose with the load balancer? And there are different types of networking with respect to ingress controller. They are layer 7 type of load balancer. Then from networking, we will switch to the volume part of it, how to get persistency. In case when we got persistency, we would understand how to deploy a stateful application, a database, a distributed type of application, how they work. In case I want to run daemon type of application, how should I create that in Kubernetes? So there would be a hell lot of YAML files which we have to learn how to write it, what all parameters. And once we know what sort of things we got to create, then we would go and tweak and understand how to get it more scheduled type of environment, right? How to do the advanced scheduling, how to limit the resources in containers, how to limit resources on the cluster level. If a node is there, how to maintain it, how to troubleshoot in case there is a failure on an application layer, node layer failure is there, or something has gone wrong on the kubelet, something has gone wrong on the Docker. Everything would be packaged and covered over here. Then once our cluster is up and running, we are able to troubleshoot. When we are troubleshooting, we got to look into logging. We got to monitor the stuff. So logging and monitoring is very important. And the most important part is security, because when we are running a cluster, our complete cluster has to be secure. So security is one of the important aspects which is covered. So these are few set of examples I'm saying. These are the minimum things you got to learn, and we would be covering these things as part of the exercises. As Atul mentioned, CKA and CKAD exams are all 3 hours hardcore hands-on exam. Unless and until you practice, you don't learn. It's not like a multiple choice question like any other cloud provider exam, right? So these are tough ones like the Red Hat certifications, and you've got to do a lot of practice, which we would make you guys do, give a lot of examples so that you prepare yourself better.
Well, that was our Docker and Kubernetes expert Mamta talking about high availability and replica in Kubernetes. She also mentioned about 22 hands-on labs that you must do in order to learn Kubernetes and clear this Kubernetes certification. We cover all these 22 labs, and on top of that, additional 11 labs for Docker in our step-by-step comprehensive training program with 1 year on-job support. Now, if you want to learn more about what to expect in this program, as well as learn more things about Docker, things like Docker container, architecture, storage, networking, and how the control and security are implemented in Docker, or Kubernetes, covering the architecture of Kubernetes, or what topics you need to learn in order to become a certified Kubernetes administrator, then I would like to invite you for a free approximately 90-minute class with Docker and Kubernetes expert Mamta and myself. So if you're interested, register at K21Academy.com/Kubernetes02. Now, while running multiple of these free trainings and also in our paid program, I get hundreds of questions on Docker, Kubernetes, or related to career or job. Well, that's all in today's episode with me, Atul, from Team K21 Academy, where we help you in your journey to cloud and managing cloud native applications. Till then, keep learning.
So guys, this was our expert from Team K21 Academy, and if in case you missed upon any concepts or if you want to dive deeper, then we have something really special for you. We have our free class on Docker and Kubernetes certification to get you higher paying jobs, and in this interactive session we'll be learning about why learn containers, that is Dockers and Kubernetes. You'll be learning about the whole Docker container architecture. You'll be getting to know about some hands-on demo. You'll be getting to know the certifications regarding Kubernetes, CKA, CKS, and CKAD. And we do have Q&As along with a limited time gift. So if you want to enroll for this free class, all you have to do is just log on to k21academy.com/K8S02. And after that, you just have to click on book your free seat now. And after that, you just have to select an event date according to your availability, add your name, your email address, your phone number, and click on yes, save my seat. Moving ahead, you'll be seeing this kind of URL. You can add this URL to your calendars, and I'll see you in the free class. Till then, take care and keep learning.